All right, everyone, smile for the camera.
Joke's on you. I don't have a
I
camera.
know. I had to put in a stupid picture of your face.
Yep.
Still don't have a. I
Nope.
thought Josh ordered that.
Yep. I thought he did too.
All right. On YouTube, it's
Are we
still
live?
start. All right, you are live.
Oh my God, we're live.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah.
Hi. Oops.
Hi.
Please leave.
Hi.
please
Please
clap.
clap. So this is the first time that we are doing the podcast that we very sporadically do live, and the point of this is to have a more focused podcast, so that way we don't waste all of your time in the car, but also to hold us more accountable because some of us forget to edit these, and so if we do this live, that person who won't be named can actually
Yeah, I'm not going to say
can
names,
actually
Josh.
edit this. Or actually, they don't need to. But
That-
I'm Vajasha Raptor. Up there on the top right is Caleb Jones, and the picture below is Marshall. I
Hi.
didn't prepare anything.
Are we?
Just a cold
Does it-
open. Let's
yeah,
do it.
Let's do it. Do we need to clap for the audio?
Yeah. Are you guys recording on your end?
I am
Oh.
recording on Audacity this time.
Wait. I have to pull up Audacity. Hold on. Okay, recording now. We're
All
good.
right.
Okay, we're good.
This
Yes.
is excellent.
Who are you and why did you notify me?
Oh, look at Eric. I work with Eric. He's awesome. Oh,
Oh,
bye,
God.
Wolfie.
Goodbye.
Thanks for coming. Oh, that was fast.
It's so sad, I know.
And gone.
And goodbye.
All right.
All right.
So what we're talking about today are the video game awards and the trailers that they showed, and our thoughts on them, and why none of us are excited for any of these things except for probably Marshall.
Oh, stop it.
Because that's him.
There's got to be
Oh, Wolfie,
some
you're
stuff
still
you're
here.
interested
Milk.
in.
Hey.
Oh my God.
Play with my heartstrings.
I know. Jeez.
Oh
All right, so let's start off with the zombie games. So we've got World War Z and
my God.
and Metro Exodus are the two real standout zombie games. And by real standout, I mean they look the same.
Oh, wait, time out. Wait, Metro Exodus is not a zombie game. What are you talking about?
I mean, it's like, what's a zombie?
I know they almost
other than a radioactive human who wants to eat people. I think that they're basically the same.
Are there
it's pretty
even like
similar.
people that are zombies in that series? I don't remember playing
In
either of them
Metro?
like that. Yeah.
It is
I don't
snow,
recall-
exactly. Wolfie understands. They are both
Yeah.
snow games.
Yeah, that's actually true.
You just watch the trailers and it's the same game. Like the beginning of the trailer is the same thing.
That's just bad
That's about-
marketing.
eh,
What's up,
Hey boss,
boss?
thanks, appreciate it. Actually, this is the interactive thing is a first for the podcast because we didn't even have listeners for the podcast.
Oh, that's a lie. We had listeners for
We
Retrix.
did.
Come on. now.
Hey, we had
It was a matter of Josh. You don't edit them and then upload them in a timely
I know.
manner.
Okay, so for me, Metro Exodus actually looks decent because I trust the Metro series and I don't trust a book to movie to game title that featured Brad Pitt and 1/8 of the actual book. So I think they just like slapped on World War Z for the poops and giggles, whereas Days Gone or Day Sagan is to me it's the same thing as World War Z, and I don't know. I just don't trust anything about World War Z at that reveal trailer.
yeah.
With
I
the reveal
agree.
trailer, I don't know. What were you gonna say, Caleb?
Oh, I agree with that. I mean, I think Days Gone is going to be the game for that kind of like fast, crazy zombie experience. I don't think World War Z looks very good. I think even in the reveal trailer, which is supposed to be like the super bumped up graphics, not actually what the game looks like. The gameplay they showed at the very end looked terrible.
It looked like a budget game.
Yeah,
Like
it looked
one of
weird.
those $30-$40 budget games that a company has to do every now and then to make money.
Yeah,
Just yeah.
looked really
I mean,
bad.
sure, 4-player co-op, woo, but there's gonna be a trailer we'll talk about later that
I liked all the
that does
corridors
way
that you're going to
better.
be in and shooting things. Honestly, this looks like a rail shooters. If this was a rail shooters, I may get behind it. But
Oh
You know what I mean? That could be interesting, but I don't.
That actually would be interesting as a rail shooter, like a light gun game almost. Like that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Who knows?
The book was
It
there
might
was a
be.
book called World War Z, and it was about Zombones, but and then they made the movie.
It's really good.
The book is
Go
good.
go
The book
read
is
that.
good. It's kind of funny because it's so
Was it a
serious.
series?
Much
Yes.
like the Zombie Survival Guide, which was phenomenal.
Yeah, that was it. That's what I was thinking of. Zombie Survival.
Yeah,
Guide.
Breath of the Wild
But-
actually has the best zombies with the skeletons that pop up. So general consensus for the reveal trailer for World War Z, unless you guys have other things to talk about it.
Oh,
Eh,
No,
I'm
it's a
just
meh.
who cares? Next, what? Okay, what next after
We've
that?
got
Because
Well,
they
I was just going to mention quickly the Metro Exodus, because Josh lumped those together.
I did.
I am interested to see what happens with that. I've actually not spent a lot of time with that series, but I do know that it gets a lot of love and that people really do enjoy it, and they're good games.
Yeah,
So
they're
I'm excited to see
pretty
what they do
great.
with
Yeah,
the
they
last
really
one.
are very good.
yes. If you haven't played them, I would definitely recommend them.
I'm pretty sure I own them all on Steam.
Oh no, we all
sounds
do.
about right.
That is Steam.
Yeah,
we
it's-
all own the games,
It's not
all of
works
them,
to
and
me.
we just don't play.
That backlog, man, I swear.
It's sometimes
it's just a
God.
real
it's like,
son of a
how
bitch.
can I play any, like, I don't know how I can still like justify buying another game considering how many I own on Steam that have never been opened.
And yet
And
you
yet I
it
do.
every time.
And
Yep.
yet, every time.
Wolfie,
right.
I've been on this channel for a while, so have all the other guys. I don't know, have I met you in person? Maybe in your dreams? Hey.
Hey.
And then
Sounds like Wolfie's a Breath of the Wild player, so he probably recognizes you from your
oh,
How to Get Wood Without a Pill.
okay, so
that would explain some
Vacation
things.
Simulator. Do we talk about this a lot? I mean, it's a great VR tech demo game that is hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, it. I haven't played any of the other simulator games, but it looks equally as ridiculous. So I think
Yes.
it'd be fun for that.
Yeah.
Very, very much so. Not a whole lot we can really discuss because I don't think any of us actually have VR.
No, none of us
nope.
do.
Nope.
But from what I know of the first job simulator, which Vacation Simulator is the sequel to, technically, it's fun games.
Wasn't it
It's just
Surgeon Simulator first.
no Surgeon Simulator is
Oh,
a
yeah, that's
different
totally different,
company,
yeah.
I want to say.
And we
Yeah.
lost
Is it?
Wolfie
Oh,
again.
okay.
Sorry, Wolfie.
Uh,
Sorry, Wolfie.
goodbye, Wolfie.
He unsubsidized.
But
Unsubsidized.
right after Vacation, oh Jesus! Right after Vacation Simulator, they
Unsubsidized.
right after oh God, now I've just lost my train of
Right
thought.
after
guys.
Vacation
Thanks.
Simulator.
Yes, thank you. They then showed off another VR trailer for Accounting Plus, which I believe is for the PS4's
Yes.
VR. That looks a little ridiculous.
I have to give the trailer credit for just like getting my attention.
Yeah, I'm impressed that
This-
it's a M-rated game. Like, honestly, it kind of reminds
Yeah.
me of like Conkers, but only in the sense that
Yeah.
it's like cartoony and rated R and just ridiculous. And so I'm kind of looking forward to that.
Right.
Wolfie, you're still here.
He's toying
Um,
with us
Yeah,
now.
he's toying with our emotions.
but yeah, that seemed like an interesting game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
mean,
have no idea what you do in it, but you
I was
know,
gonna say I hesitate to call it a game, but
quote unquote,
it,
it's not a walking simulator, that's for sure.
I mean it's different, so
Yeah.
I'll give it that. I mean,
Give it
yeah,
that.
for a VR kind of experience. I mean, all right, why not?
right.
I
All right.
No,
what else to say
why
about
not?
it?
Yeah,
Let's
there's
just leave that.
not a whole lot we can really say about it. So next one that they showed off during Game Awards, which by the way, besides the trailers, it seemed like Game Awards was an okay an award show. I mean,
Like
it
it's
was
what,
certainly a lot better than the last one that they had, but it gets better every year.
We're not here to comment on. on
Yeah,
it.
I still don't care about it about the but the
care
awards.
about
I just care about the
Gotcha.
trailers.
Okay,
Yeah.
so From Software, new game teaser trailer, the Game Awards.
yeah, it's not even worth watching. The
It's off.
trailer,
It's just
but,
whatever.
Like,
It's-
it shows
it-
nothing. But
all
I'm
the
excited.
trailer is there
Exactly.
for is to show everyone, hey, From Software's making a new game. Try and guess what it
Yeah,
is.
it's
Okay,
a
bye.
bone crunching noise game. Bone crunching
It's
simulator.
it is suggested that it could be Kuon, another Kuon that they're doing. which for those who do not know, Kuon was an old PS2 horror game that they made way back when. So
we had to Wikipedia it.
we had to Wikipedia that when I heard the name Kuon. I'm like, what the hell's Kuon? And I'm like, ooh, neat. But yeah, that could be interesting. A kind of horror game from Software.
It's not like they've done anything
That
good ever.
Yeah, they are just an unknown
Just
company. Who knows what
this is
they've
their first
done.
game.
Yep, totally. Yes, totally. Their sequel to their first game is a sequel that they've never done before. Yep, totally.
All right.
After that, they showed off In the Valley of Gods, which is a new game from the makers of Firewatch, and I was just like, oh, okay, don't care.
I thought Firewatch was a very pretty looking game. But I mean, like if you look at The Witness, it was basically a walking simulator with puzzles in it, and that was pretty fun. But this actually does look like it's a mixture of Witness, but it takes place in all of Journey's setting, following a woman with a lighter. So take that with what you will.
Yeah, who knows?
I don't know. I mean, I do really like the animation and just the way that the game looks.
Yeah, it
and
looks
I about
nice.
Firewatch too, but I don't have much interest in playing those kinds of games. I don't play the good walking simulator games. I mean, much less take a game on one I don't know.
It's very rare that I would go into something like that unless like someone really highly recommended it to me. And even still, I might not even like buy it. I might even just be interested in looking at it on YouTube or something like that.
All right, well, we'll
it's something that I would consider watching.
We'll keep the train of walking simulators going and then talk about Witchfire just because it is by the same people.
It's a really good segue. Yes.
Right, but like I said, I am all for walking simulator. I don't know. I mean, I feel like if it's a good story, that's excellent. And it's kind of interesting that you get to choose what you look at in this movie as opposed to like kind of having to like play it, and it's a little bit different. I just like that we're at a point like where you can experiment in this medium with games like that. And so I think we'll see. But yeah, so back to Witchfire.
So Witchfire, that trailer, really, really funny considering it started off with, oh, this seems like fantasy or something kind of semi-spooky, to which the text from the creators of Vanishing of Ethan Carter popped up, which was also kind of like a walking simulator type game with a very light on puzzles.
Very light, yeah. Basically, there's
and I was like,
spooky something whatever. That was hanging out around, but yeah.
Yeah, and then it got really spooky, and then some sort of weird snail creature kind of popped up, and then a gun appeared that you were holding, and it's like, what? And then it cut to also the creators of Painkiller and Bulletstorm ago.
Great.
Nice.
Yeah, so there will definitely be combat.
They know. And then they showed off gameplay of Witchfire, and honestly, it looks really cool. Like, I love Painkiller setting. One of my favorite levels of all time was the level in Painkiller where you're going through the burnt out town, and that's I think you get like
I love that level.
You get the stake gun where it's because all the enemies you start off fighting in that zone are super slow walking like zombie dudes, and so the stake gun, you just fire them and they just go soaring. It's just so good.
You went to sleep because Caleb, Corey, and I all stayed up the entire night to get like all of the multiplayer achievements, I think.
No, you're thinking of Bulletstorm.
I thought, yep.
Yeah, you're thinking of Bulletstorm. No. It's Painkiller.
Painkiller with the stake.
Whoops.
Oh my god.
Oh no, I didn't play. Oh no, I did. Yeah. I did not play Painkiller. I was thinking, yep.
All of the Painkiller games are so good. The weapons are amazing. Like the enemies that you fight against are great. I'm really, really, really excited to see the next thing that they do.
Mm-hmm.
And Bulletstorm got a lot of crap because the writing was really bad.
It wasn't. Yeah.
Campy. But I actually did enjoy the game. I mean, the actual shooting and sliding. And
the sliding was a lot of fun. Yeah, and then
that felt good. Multiplayer was,
and then like the hook shot, the hook shot.
But Witchfire looks really interesting.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, like
I like the setting.
The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. It's like nothing is there, but the whole game you're tense. It's super. So in terms of atmosphere, I'm pretty excited about that. And then in terms of gameplay, I was like, oh, that's really interesting. I wonder how the two studios even team up like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just people from one company leave, and then the other companies also leave, and they're like, hey, let's make a game together. Okay, sure. Why not? Yeah.
All right, so
excited.
Yeah, that one looks pretty neat. We'll move on. A Way Out. And this.
Wait.
Oh.
You've skipped a bunch because you went down to
Whoops,
Witchfire.
that's a whoopsies. It doesn't. Yeah. Okay. So.
I mean, it doesn't matter, but I
Okay.
I
All
like
right.
to
Back
go
to the
in
list.
order just in
Soul
case.
Calibur 6. It's a Soul Calibur game. It looks pretty, and the combat will probably be Soul Calibur E.
It's
I
a
don't remember
prequel,
Soul Calibur
quote
5.
unquote.
Yeah, I mean
for-
that's young. That's young.
Right,
Mitsurugi
right.
in the-
But
yeah,
it's-
apparently this kind of takes place apparently during Soul Calibur 1. So, but
in terms of
Just so-
fighting, the only lore that I actually know
Story-wise.
really well are the Mortal Kombat games, and everything else I think is ridiculous, which is also ridiculous for me to say because, Mortal Kombat's a game where no one stays dead. So.
this is true.
But
Soul Calibur gameplay wise actually looks really good. I've never been a huge Soul Calibur fan ever, but this looks pretty neat with what it looks like a lot of like pairing and countering. I don't know how like crazy that stuff was in the previous games, but it looks
there was
like
some
they're
aspect to
taking-
it. The last Soul Calibur I really
There
got into
was.
was 4. And that was when you had the exclusive, like where if you had it on the GameCube,
the
you could play
one-
as Link, and then
you get
had
Link,
Vader.
Xbox
Link
was
and
Spawn, and then PlayStation had
Hitachi, whatever the
did
guy's
they-
name from Tekken, right? Was that it? Or
Oh, I
Yeah.
think so. Maybe I don't. I
Yeah.
can't remember.
yeah, because 5 had
But it
Yoda
was-
and
it was cool.
Vader.
Yes.
Yep.
And also Star Killer
Oh, yes.
from
Oh,
Force
I know.
Unleashed.
I know.
Yeah, we don't talk. Yeah,
Oh, I
we don't
know.
talk about that. I know.
Is that
Um,
series even canon? It's not anymore.
Not anymore because
No.
of Disney, which I'm okay with. God forbid.
Disney said no.
No, they turned Star Killer into a giant moon base, which we all know what
You're a moon
happens.
base.
Uh,
Okay, so
Yeah, I mean it looks pretty, and hopefully the mechanics are interesting. I don't really know why it's coming out. I mean, I don't know that. I guess I'm not very connected with that part of the.
With Soul
fighting
Calibur in
game,
general,
so
yeah.
I don't know if there really were people who are super
It's-
excited for it. I'm
it's-
sure there are.
I
but-
think Soul Calibur 5 did well, and I think a lot of it has
Yeah.
been like 4 years since Soul Calibur 5. So
5.
it makes
I
sense.
just
5.
I don't know. It's gonna have a lot of work to do to be better than Tekken in the 3D fighting space, like Tekken 7, because apparently that's really good.
Nothing will ever beat
Tekken
Mortal
5
Kombat 4.
is great.
Mortal Kombat 4 is
Or
the
Tekken 7
pinnacle
rather.
of fighting games.
Yes.
Right.
yes,
Okay.
it is.
Um.
They also showed off the trailer for the Breath of the Wild expansion.
Which to
Yes.
me, it's like it's out now. So
Yeah. Okay. Go play it if you haven't yet.
Right.
People, if you own a Switch, do it. I know. I
Champions
believe Corey, the 4th member of our little team here on Random Respawn, I believe is doing videos for expansion stuff. So if you're interested in
has
Zelda
said-
stuff, yep, we have it on record that he is doing videos. So
has
if
said
you're
so.
interested in
I
that
don't know
stuff, by all means, come back. He'll have them up eventually, hopefully
Yeah.
soon.
So, something.
Besides that, they then showed off Fate to Silence, which is a new game. I believe it's for early access. Also, it's coming
another
out
snow simulator game.
It's
it-
in early access already.
already now.
Yeah. That's what they
Oh,
said at the end of the trailer.
I thought it was early access like 2018, like February or something like that. But it seems like it's a survival type game where you actually build things and like survive. But then
It
there's
looks like
also
Survivor
like combat with weird shadow monsters. I don't know what's going on, but it
It
seems
looks like some
interesting.
interpretation of the thing.
Yes, that actually is a really good comparison.
Yeah, it does. It's
With
all
whatever the
snow
hell this
basey
is.
based.
That's
Yeah.
exactly. I was watching. I was like, so it's like redo of the thing.
I
Or
love
what? What's going
the
on?
thing.
I mean,
It's
it was
actually one of
great
my favorite
movie.
movies of all time. Like no joke. Like it's
Great
that good
movie.
for me. But yeah, it seems interesting. Who knows what the base like building and management, survival
management.
scoping entail? My
My
management.
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 My
Um,
management.
Who know? Oh God, stop it. We'll see what it looks like. But
Yeah.
more Nintendo news after that. Reggie came out to show off.
Reggie?
Oh hey, Bayonetta 1 and 2 are coming to the Switch. So now you have absolutely zero reason now to own a Wii U. So who cares?
Super Smash
and
Brothers
then
is still
right
for
after-
the Wii U. That's the only game.
Oh.
It's the only game left.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess. But you can get Smash. Wait,
Yeah, but
can you not get
for the
Smash?
Switch will come out
It
soon.
will.
Yeah, I was about
It'll
to
be like
say.
Smash
there's-
DX or something like that, and then I'll be happy.
I just had this weird moment where I'm like, no, Smash is for Switch. Yeah, no, it's totally
As
for
the only
Switch. And I
person
was
of
like,
us
wait.
talking with a Switch, I will tell you that it is not on the Switch.
It does have the credentials.
Yeah, it's very
so
true.
Bayonetta 3, which is to me, it's
Bayonetta
like,
3.
hey, it's coming out. Like, I would have been happier with the tweet. Like, it honestly, like, Bayonetta 3 is coming out, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, sweet. Because the teaser
They just
did
tweeted
nothing.
The
Yeah,
logo.
like they did when the second one was coming out to PC. Like that was crazy. It was like super sneaky, and you're like, what?
It's still really smart for Nintendo to do this, to have like, yo, Bayonetta 3 bitches, get a Switch. No, seriously, get a Switch.
I mean, their
Do it.
sales have been phenomenal. So
Oh yeah, they just need
I don't think
games.
they need
what do you mean they still
just
need games?
Look, there have been plenty of times where there's been kind of a drought. Right now, we're not in a drought because of Mario Odyssey and all that jazz, so that really helps.
They've
but
got Rocket League, Doom, Skyrim.
Rocket League is literally on everything, man.
How is that like a bad thing? I'm just telling you, like at this point.
No. But the thing is, Rocket League has been out for so long now. It's like I don't want to worry about stuff that I can get anywhere else already now, like previously. I'm more worried about getting stuff for the future. That's like, oh, I can also this thing that is for the Switch. Sure, can be for everywhere else, but I can get it for the Switch. It's again the reason why I went for the PS4 first is just because, oh sure, first party tile stuff looks good, but I can also get everything else that I'm interested in for the PS4 as well.
To me, that's the the opposite. If it's coming out for the PS4, there's a really good chance it's coming out for the PC, and I'd rather get it on PC and then.
Yeah. It all depends on if the port's good and all that, but sure. Bayonetta 3. Interesting. Hopefully we can see more of that later next year and all that stuff for E3. I'm assuming that's when they'll probably show off maybe a little bit. And then right after that,
do we want to say Death Stranding for the end, or do we want to go and talk about it now? Because I feel like
honestly, let's probably talk about it for the end because there's a lot to unpack there. Because that trailer was massive, how long it was and how much information that they kind of gave out, while also at the same time not explaining a damn thing. So I say, says the man who has yet to actually watch the last two trailers and only the first one.
I can't honestly, as an impartial jury, as am I don't care. So we'll talk about that later.
Okay, so after this Stranding, which we'll talk about later. Sea of Thieves, they have a release date now, March 20th for Xbox One and Windows 10 PCs. Looks cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Looks pretty cool.
I actually still don't really know like what you can do in that game.
It's like a lot of it's like Guns of Icarus, but you can walk on land. I feel like.
And I want to see stuff like what's your inventory screen look like? I'm that guy who it's like what are the gameplay like components and stuff?
I don't think that they had an inventory screen on Guns of Icarus.
No, they just had the
it's like
you had your menu before going into.
You will be repairing crap.
You go into the fray.
Yeah. Caleb is captain.
Well, yeah,
because Marshall needs to shoot things.
No, I need to repair everything.
I'm interested to see where it goes. I mean, it looks like it could be fun. I did enjoy Guns of Icarus, so if it's that kind of experience with a little bit more, sure.
Yeah, we can make a small ship,
Windows
a 4-man ship.
Xbox One. So.
Oh, I just realized though I'd have to upgrade to get Windows 10 because I'm still in Windows 7. So yeah,
Windows 10's it's not bad. It's not bad at all.
I know. I'm just a late buyer on it.
Okay, so we already talked about Witchfire, so now we're on A Way Out.
Yep, A Way Out, which is indie game that's being published by EA through their indie studio like thing that they do, which is a way of them saying we're not bad guys, we're honest. Battlefront 2,
clearly made by people who never played Army of Two.
Army of Two was awful.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but it actually reminded me of like Army of Two and Brothers. Because they are brothers.
Brothers, Tale of Two Sons?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Tale of Two Sons. Except that was like super compelling and you were both.
Have I ever talked to you guys about Brothers?
No,
I did not like Brothers.
We talked about it during a very old podcast we had of our favorite
Yeah,
games of the
Yeah,
year, and I
we did.
consider that pretty much one of my favorite games of
you
the
did.
year because I
I
thought
thought
it
it
was
was really
that
good.
compelling. He
I
is.
really I really liked it. I don't think that A Way Out looks very good. It I appreciate what they're doing, and I'm interested to see how the co-op mechanics work and the puzzles and everything. The most interesting thing about the trailer to me, so the game is entirely cooperative, and I don't believe that you can play it with an AI
It
partner.
is entirely
Um,
split screen too. You can
oh yeah,
always
it's
see
all
what
split
your other
screen.
person is doing.
Yes,
Always.
and
Yeah,
it
it's like it looks kind of like a GTA 4-ish graphics, 5 maybe. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's always split screen, and you can play couch co-op or over the internet, even though it is still split screen, even if you're playing on the internet. But the big hook and what made me really interested about in the game, um, more so than any of the gameplay, is that they said if you buy one copy of the game, you can invite a friend to play with you completely for free. Your friend doesn't need to buy the game. So it's really a neat idea. And I am tempted to get the game just to support them for that
right.
decision,
I
because I
mean,
think that's
it
really, really
makes
awesome.
sense though because, like you said, you cannot play this game by yourself.
Right,
So
but I've got a couple of like questions about it as well because it's like I'm curious as to how it's structured. Like, if you start playing with somebody, is it mission structured, or do you have to play with the same person the entire time all the way through?
I'm pretty sure it's mission
Right,
structured.
and then also at the same time with the split screen, I like how it's like a cinematic split screen. It's not always right in the middle. It kind
Oh,
of
it's not
it,
static. It
right, which
changes and
I thought
morphs.
was
And one of them expands to see something that's happening. No,
right. I
it's
thought that
cool.
was
It's really cool what
pretty
they're doing.
interesting. But then at the same point, if like you don't know what to do, but the split screen is heavily flavored, ice cream. If it's heavily favored to the second player, then clearly you know that hey, they're supposed to be doing something. So is it like subconsciously hinting at what you're supposed to do? And if that's the case, it kind of like I kind of, let me if if it's a game that's not a walking simulator, let me play it. But if it's a walking simulator, don't let me play anything. Is my philosophy. It's hard left to hard right.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of what I was saying. Like, it doesn't. They're talking about you have to figure out the puzzles and everything. I'm like, I don't think it's gonna be
Right,
that
because it's not going to do this
difficult,
this
and
the
stuff like
super
that doesn't
sliver
really.
for the person who needs to do the
Yeah,
intricate, in-depth puzzle. And then the second one, it's like literally in the middle. You're like, all right, well, we both need to do something, unless the
right.
person on like with the controllers basically determine who or where it's split screening. Like, I wonder if that's like a trigger. So if like you're like, I need more screen, and your buddy's like, no, I need more screen. If like deciding who,
You fight over the
right,
screen.
that's cool. I'm that's kind of neat.
That
Yeah,
might be that might be,
like
yeah.
that's part of it
It
is to who gets more split screen at this time.
it looked like an interesting half measure on like m- games as a movie kind of thing, like game playing itself. Like, it's not really that difficult, and it's not so much of a game, but it's like an interactive movie, and you have the story that it's trying to tell you, and you interact with that story going throughout, and you're doing that with a friend. So it it intrigued me. I don't know that it looked very good, but it did intrigue me.
All I'm really worried about is the frame rate. If it can handle it.
I mean, you
You
saw the
know.
graphics. I'm pretty sure it can.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I
thinking
mean,
so.
it's not
It's
even
just a
like they
matter.
were bad that they detract from it. That's not the case at all. Um, but
no,
it's definitely not.
It looks totally passable. Like there's,
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
wouldn't
I'm
say
not.
anything
I'm not
bad
worried
about
about
yeah,
that. Okay, so on to Dream.
Dreams. This was the
not a
Media
game.
Molecule thing that they were working on when they first showed off the PS4. Like it's that VR thing that you can like make stuff.
Not a
And
game. Move on.
Not again.
it's basically like the new Little Big
Oh my
Planet
God, I
is
love
what they're
Little Big.
pretty much touting it
Actually, they
as.
ruined Little
Yeah.
Big Planet 3. I don't know how they messed it up so bad, but they did.
Well, I didn't know because I
I
never
know.
bought it. But yeah.
Okay, so
Um,
now.
Yeah,
Oh, good.
guess you could make the comparison of Little Big Planet. I don't. Little Big Planet was still like a platformer that you could do all kinds of ridiculous stuff in. This is not a game.
but they're actually
Like,
like
I mean, I just mean like there
levels and
is
stuff
no
that they've
base.
made, pre kind of like Little Big Planet, to which then it's like, okay, now you can make your own stuff.
Yeah, and so I am interested to see what the like their dream. It says you play our dream and then you make yours or something like that as the tagline.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what kind of like craziness their experience is. And that might be worth like red boxing just to try out if it
Yep.
isn't VR only. But
What
wanna
other
I
game
want to say it's VR only. I
did
don't know.
that came out that was like you basically built the level other than Little Big Planet? I mean, not Mario Maker, but I thought there was something else, and I thought you were like super into it, Marsh. Unless it could have been the first Little Big Planet when we were in college.
that long ago.
Yeah,
I
could've
think
been.
it might have been Little Big Planet. I honestly can't remember though.
All right, so we'll move on.
It was
Hey,
cool.
move
Player Unknown's Battlegrounds. This
Yeah,
is a
they
game that we already
they
know about.
yeah. If you somehow don't know what this is, it's 100 people thrown on a map, and you survive until you're the last one alive. Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
FPS style.
Yep, pretty much. And they or third person shooter, depending on what server you're on. You know. And then the trailer for this is just they're showing off the new map. It's the desert map. I did a little research on what this is specifically. It's a map that's set in Mexico, and I'm like, wait, so this is landlocked? How does this work? And it turns out the north part of the map is literally bordered off from the border. There's the whole U.S. wall there, and I'm like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense. So it's gonna be kind of like that. And it's gonna have the coastline. You know, it's gonna be like a miniature, like sized Mexico, if that makes sense.
So we've got like a lot of
It's a
snow
mini
games, and we've got
Mexico.
like a lot of desert games. So a lot of extreme tundras that we're dealing with.
Yeah, and then the
Usually
next
the
trailer they showed off was, oh hey, it's also coming to Xbox. It's like
Axe
woo.
Backs. That'll be great because the
Xbox.
player base on Xbox is already perfect.
What does that mean?
We
Is
all
there, like, no
remember
one?
our Halo days and just the ridiculous things that we had to deal with through Xbox Live.
Oh
It's going to
boy.
be even worse.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I haven't actually even played Battlegrounds.
I have. I've actually played with Eric, who's watching right now because
Oh, nice.
he.
Did you
I
have
paid him
fun?
to play or to watch. No. Yeah, actually, it was a lot of fun. But we died really fast the first time, and I had to
That sounds
keep
about
getting
right.
revived.
That's
But
fine.
it was enjoyable because I was with two people that weren't total jerks. Because I can definitely see somebody getting really mad at me for screwing it up.
Oh yeah. I mean, no, for a game like that, like unless you're like super hardcore, it's like the chances of, and you know exactly what to do and where everything is. It's like for someone like me, for a game like that, it's like there's a very slim possibility of me ever like winning it, being the last one alive, and like a game like that is too stressful for me. So it's like, okay,
You do live a very stressful
sure,
life.
I'll just have fun. Yep. It's so stressful.
It's a
It
commitment.
is. It absolutely. I completely agree with that. It's funny at how scary it is.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, so really, this is the only game that I'm actually looking forward to, but I'm also super cautiously optimistic because of how Payday 2 turned out.
And this is why I did research on it after I watched the trailer. So what we're talking about is
Gitfo.
aptly named GTFO.
There's
Uh,
Gitfo.
GIFA.
Gitfo.
It is a 4-player co-op game by the original designer of Payday 1 and 2, Ulf Henriksen or Erickson. I can't remember his name. But he, as it turns out, I never knew this, is actually the voice of Wolf in both Payday games, which cool little tidbit of information. And he left in about 2015, I want to say that year, because of the whole DLC crap that they were trying to do in Payday 2. And he's like, no, I can't do this anymore. This is stupid. And so he left and then formed his own little 10-man team. And that's why they call themselves 10 Chambers. That's their development studio. And this is self-published. They do not have a publisher. It's just their own game. And it looks phenomenal. You play as you and 3 other people are basically playing as scavengers, essentially, that are shafted down into a super underground prison system, an old abandoned one. And you basically have to go in, find some like equipment or artifacts and stuff, and then GTFO, because the entire place is infested with these weird humanoid creature things. They're not zombies.
They're the things
They
from
look
Metro
like
Exodus. It is a
Assuredly,
it's a crossover.
assuredly not.
it is. And if you haven't seen the trailer, please look it up. It's a really good trailer. What they do with it. And
good.
I am super excited.
One of the things that I liked about the trailer and the VO was that it sounds like this is what they do. So it's not like, oh my God, we like, you know, it's not like they're really surprised or there's like, we never expected
is
anything.
By the numbers, get in, get out. We've done this before.
Right. And so
plenty
they're
of times.
prepared for it, which is why, you know, you have all these weapons that you need. So it's not like they were just spelunking and they discovered this stuff. It's like, no, we're down here to crack open these safes and get the goods.
It's funny because a lot of people originally thought when they were first seeing the trailer for the first time, like, is this an Aliens game? And I'm pretty sure it's because the names of the characters, Bishop North and all
that's funny.
that. I
wonder if
think,
that's code names.
Well,
Kind of like in Payday, they all like code names.
yeah, I think so. And I'm pretty sure I want to say that it's like a nod to Aliens because I want to say like most of those names are from Aliens.
Is there a Ridley?
Or Bishop, obviously.
Nah.
Yeah, Ridley.
God, if they have a DLC character, I'd be okay with them calling her Ridley.
Hopefully, this game won't be heavy on the DLC because that's where Payday.
It's a matter of what they're going to do with it, and they're not using the Diesel engine, which is what they used for Payday 2, which is it's not a good engine. It's not good for procedural generation.
It's terrible on gas.
Yep, it's very much so.
Expensive.
It's super
good
expensive.
for starting fires.
Very much. Only you can prevent them. And I think they're using Unity. But from what I look, yep, good old Unity. Unity's a little weird for me. Like sometimes, like Unity engine is super good in certain games, and then others it's awful. And I think it just comes down to how good you are at developing and coding engines and stuff like that.
Like most games.
Who
knew that the engine doesn't make a game good?
But it sounds like there is straight up a lot of procedural generation, like whatever director, quote unquote, that they're making for the game to help, like kind of like Left 4 Dead's director, which was like the first of its kind.
Yeah. Oh my God, Left 4 Dead. We should play that again.
However,
like, I feel like
we should. Just to get back into the swing of things.
Dead, presumably without the multiplayer adversaries.
I don't know. Well, they'll probably won't do multiplayer adversaries, but I want to say there are special like evil infected creatures.
Yeah, they had like a big one in the trailer.
During the trailer, one of the guys yells out "Facebreaker." I'm assuming that's like a special.
Going to be big special creatures. Saying I'm not convinced that they're special creatures.
No, this is a looter. This is a co-op and then get loot game, kind of like Vermintide.
It's just going to be like Vermintide, like Left 4 Dead without the multiplayer opponents. But it does look like that kind of setup where you got Left 4 Dead with randomized layout of levels and.
I hope. I don't know if the levels are baked in though.
What's that?
I hope that it's a different layout of levels, like if they do tile sets, which would be great because one of the issues I had with Vermintide is sure it's a looter co-op game where you get loot at the end of your runs and all that. But then if you want to just have the best loot, you just run the same easy levels.
Oh, right. Again. Yeah, because that's what
it's all baked in.
That was the Payday 2.
There, once you play the one level, it's like, oh, who cares?
Right, I forgot about that. That's what we did in Payday 2 for a while. It was
that's why I'm excited they're not using Diesel Engine, is because they couldn't really do a lot of procedural generation in Payday 2 because of that.
I'm curious, with it being on Unity, there's a chance that it could come out for the Switch and for the iPad. So this is all things that I'm curious about.
With how graphically intense it looks, I don't know, Josh.
But as atmospheric as it is and as dark as it is, it's kind of like it's the Silent Hill 2 fog. It's there to basically.
It's true. This is actually a really dark game. This is one of the darkest games I've seen since like Doom 3. It's like you need a flashlight, or you're screwed, which I think is phenomenal. Like. I want more games to be like that.
And it's also a way to save
if they want to go the horror.
And also, if the levels are procedurally generated, I don't know anything about procedurally generating anything, but I assume that it's a little bit easier to run because you basically the game, I guess, kind of builds itself, and you're not like loading whole levels. I don't know. I don't know anything.
In terms of loading levels and stuff like that, especially maybe for something like this, it's you create tile sets. So you like how Warframe works is they have built handmade multiple types of rooms, which and they lay them out from a beginning and an end, and then they lay them out as a tile of you go into this room and then which will go into this one. And if you play, like for instance, if you play Warframe enough, like me, like I put hundreds of hours into the game, you will start recognizing, oh, this is this tile set, and I know where certain secret rooms are in this tile set and all that. And I can imagine that they'll do something like that with this game because, hey, it's an underground prison system that is full of tunnels and all sorts of creepy stuff. Like that's perfect for it.
Yeah, Stuart. Thanks for checking this out.
Howdy, Stuart.
Yeah, like you said, it depends on the implementation with how intensive it is, but that's how the good procedural generation works, is with tile sets and not just random shit everywhere all the time. The Bloodborne dungeons were tile sets. You know, this room is always this room, but what comes after it or what branches off of it is different, and things like that. And that way you can set up specific encounters or things coming from specific directions, or triggers, things like that, to be the same or to be a better experience than just like, oh, I could approach it from anywhere.
That way the game director can work its magic and all that fun stuff. Which
Marsh, did you find out whether or not you could actually break open the safe without setting off an alarm, or is that like part of the...
Now here's the kicker. Looking back at the interview that Jeff did during the Game Awards with Ulf, he was saying, Ulf, like there's also puzzle elements possibly in the game. I think it's also on Steam. So like with Payday 2, you could get through a mission without tripping alarms. Like you could totally do that. I would not be surprised if you could possibly do that too here.
I mean, it would make sense.
It would make sense because it's like in terms of a game like this, because of how overwhelming the enemies look, like if you trigger the alarm, it looks like you are now on a time limit before you were screwed and you were out of ammo. So it almost looks like you want to get through it as far as you can before the alarm goes off.
Exactly.
Which is why the whole beginning of that trailer, it's super sneaky.
Caleb?
That's the whole point. I mean, it's GTFO. So you get in there, if you want to get loot, you need to be sneaky. I'm sure at some point you probably have to trigger something so that you can't do. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe you can just full stealth.
I would actually prefer.
I'm thinking that there's probably.
Oh, Caleb. I was gonna say I would actually prefer if the correct way was to basically full stealth it, and then you are punished heavily if you set off an alarm. Because I feel like to make a shooting game where the point is to basically purposefully trip off the alarm or make it almost impossible to not trip off the alarm, it's just like, well, why am I even doing this first part when no matter what, the alarm is going to go off?
Yeah,
that's true.
I mean, because sorry, go Caleb.
Because then when you do trigger the alarm, it's like, well, we can't get our loot anymore. We just have to.
Right. That's cool. That's pretty neat.
And I think that's pretty cool.
That would be neat if that was a thing.
Excited to see if they do because it's the procedural generation, whatever, and the sneaky and the Left 4 Dead stuff. But I like that it should add in some of the interaction things like you had in Payday and Payday 2, more so Payday 1.
Right.
And they've got the gear, like how to crack open the safes and all that stuff. The little puzzles. It's not a puzzle game, but the little things that you have to do, and how they can make that interesting with being able to complete those tasks and not set off the alarm. I think it could be a really fun game. I am cautiously optimistic, though.
Agreed.
Like
Agreed.
said.
Yeah, I would say that more than likely this will have, you can totally do the stealth, because if it didn't have stealth, there was no point in having the mapper tool during that trailer. Because the whole point of the mapper tool is to be able to scout out without opening a door if there's any bullshit on the other side of it, which is what you want. When you want to try and avoid something.
We'll see.
It could still be that you don't want to trigger it early.
Of course,
still force an alarm like at the end of the encounter.
And,
so just because there's tools to make it so that you can get further without setting off an alarm doesn't necessarily mean that you can full stealth.
You can customize weapons in Destiny, but they're not really customizable. So I mean, they could have a map tool that is not actually a map tool.
Shots fired.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, time for Death Squandering.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Death
God.
Stranding.
All
Death
right.
Standing all by
Death
myself.
Standing.
Oh, standing on the edge of the crater where the prophets once.
So
yes, or whatever.
we actually did some research, and we're pretty sure that this is a sequel to Police Knots, which is a game that came out in 1994 that was also done by Kojima.
Yeah, which
It was,
if you
like,
did not
choose your own
know,
adventure kind
And
of thing.
yes, it is a point and click game. No joke.
we've cracked
and
the code.
if you did not know, Metal Gear Solid takes place actually canonically before Police Knots. Like there's straight up references to Metal Gear in Police Knots. Like Meryl is straight up a character in Police
Okay,
Knots.
back to Death Stranding.
Nuts. Sorry, I just wanted to point that out because it blew my mind when I first heard about that a while ago.
So Death Stranding, as typical with Kojima games, the trailers don't really tell you a lot, and then a lot of times they're purposefully misleading that you don't think that they're misleading until you beat the game and you're like, oh, the trailer was really misleading. This one looks crazy. It looked like Doctor Doom was at the very end. He landed on some plane and squished it. But there's a lot that you could
What?
theorize about almost everything in this, and then I think Marshall has actually done that. So take it away,
Well,
friend.
I
have not-
okay,
I don't
so
have much to contribute for this section because I
he's
have
only
not
watched the
played
first trailer.
Kojima Ruse Cruise this year.
Yeah, can't do that to
so
himself.
I almost
I've only watched the first Death Stranding trailer, and I'm not really interested in seeing the rest of them. I'm not saying I'm not interested in the game. I don't really care.
there
that
was
much
like
about the
a
trailer.
thumbs up throat baby in it, and I think that more people
Oof.
have fun trying to decode these trailers than they do the actual game. That's just I mean, especially when the Phantom
Yeah.
Pain came out, and they had the game before the game, which was like really cool, but then it's like the game came out, and I don't think any of us beat it.
I
oh,
did.
Oh, okay. And so, but did you play Metal Gear Solid 4? Because that was like another thing that everyone was like super stoked about. Like, why is Snake really old and stuff?
No. I believe our friend Caleb Stewart was over when he was playing it, and I was watching.
Yeah, he
like,
beat 4.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
was
We
interesting.
watched Stuart do the
at the top of the Metal Gear, yeah.
That last fight truly is amazing.
And really, the only game that Kojima's done that I've spent a lot of time with is Zone of the Enders, and that was a friend's game, and I played that at his house a lot.
That is one of my favorite
Yes.
games. I love
So this one, it's just I feel like more people have fun trying to code it, as opposed to actually playing the game. But that's just my thought.
The thing is, in defensive with Phantom Pain, literally the very first trailer that they ever showed off for Phantom Pain was, this is what the gameplay is. And this is the open world and all that stuff. And so you knew what kind of a game it was. Like, there was no question about that. And the rest of the trailers were, what is the big twist? Because all the Metal Gear games have had twists and stuff
With the
like
twist, they've all been M. Night Shyamalan films.
what the twist?
And Stuart, we will gladly help you with QuickTime events.
That was Marshall beat the QuickTime bit at the end of Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, you did? Oh my! Oh, that's funny. That's actually.
I did. I don't even remember.
I think it was you. I don't think it was me.
What was the QuickTime event? Hold on,
like,
time
you
out.
have to fight Liquid Snake, I think, at the top of like a Metal Gear thing, and then it's like real dramatic, and then they like.
Yeah. I just don't remember the QuickTime part of it. I think maybe I did.
Was it better implemented than Resident Evil 5? Crap.
You mean 6?
Oh, 6. I didn't mean. No. 5.
Oh wait,
I'm
no.
about 5.
About
when you're falling out of the airplane.
Oh, are you talking about boulder punching?
No,
okay. No. Nothing will ever be boulder punching.
No. When you're falling out of the airplane, it's just like crap. Yeah, Chris.
Yep.
Yeah, it was the fist fight.
Literally 2 milliseconds.
Metal Gear Solid 4
about a quarter of a
for
second.
sure ended with the fist fight at the end. That's funny because Marshall almost beat Demon Souls for me because I just didn't play it.
I didn't even know what.
No, he didn't. I just had it open for some reason, and I came back and Marshall was like 6 hours in. Parts I've never even heard of in the game. He was like, "I need to beat the swamp monster." It's like, all right, well.
Dude, oh man, that game. But back to Death Stranding.
Yeah, back on
top. Because, good God, we're doing it again. Oh no. With Death Stranding, we have literally seen zero gameplay now for 3 trailers over the course of maybe 2.5 years now, and like that's it. And not only that, we still don't even have any semblance of what a story this is. We have just seen some crazy looking stuff, and it's like, okay, that's cool and all, but like what? And this has never happened to me in terms of watching like a game trailer of a game that's coming out. This is the first time that it's like I've seen a trailer and then I see another one. It's like, what is that? Like all my preconceived notions of the first trailer go right out the window. And it's happened again now with this third trailer where it's like me trying to get a grasp of what I saw in the second one. It's like, nope, throw it all away. Who cares? This all is just a bunch of bullshit now. It's like, what? And besides finding out today, like today, actually, I read up like they straight up talked about like gameplay stuff, and it's like number one, the baby that you have seen in all three trailers is the same
From
baby.
PT? Same
So,
baby from PT. Same PT baby?
oh my
Is,
god,
that
the PT
Sync
baby. Oh no, that's a fetus. Oh god.
My baby, a tumor.
I'm not a baby, I'm a tumor. No. But apparently the baby actually has some sort of gameplay like importance to it.
just like Sync baby.
Yep, just like Sync baby.
So Norman Reedus and Sync baby have been the only two consistent things since PT and this game.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Do you think that this was originally going to be Silent Hill, and then he was just like, gotta call it something else?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, what'd you say?
Stuart asked if the second trailer explains the link between the dead whales and the tentacle Nazis.
Oh god, I'm trying to think. Just looking at the third trailer. I don't know per se, but I think it might have to do with the second point is if you've watched the third trailer, there's a guy who's pinned under a truck and he's actually like increasing in age rapidly. It turns out it's because of the rain that is falling, and which also explains why Norman Reedus and the other guy don't age, because they're wearing protective gear and the other guy's face is exposed.
And they've got the thing that sticks behind them. I've been making like faces about it, but like the weird thing is like, and it's like flashing like.
Which the only time that thing, by the way, flashes is the guy has the baby attached to him, and when Norman Reedus gets the baby in the alternate like non-wet world, the thing's working on his back.
Oh, interesting.
Because he's holding the baby. I think that again, that's why the baby's important, and it's the same baby from all three trailers. But number three, most importantly, during the part of the third trailer when Norman Reedus falls into like the ocean and he can see his body and everything's floating, that is apparently the continue screen when you die. And during that point, apparently, you can swim around and grab items and stuff before going to your body. So what we saw in the trailer is him dying and then him respawning, supposedly. And
do you think they just leave all the body? Like, could you see how many times you've died? Because there's like 80 Norman Reeduses here.
No.
That would be really...
But the thing is, the location is of that ocean like looking place is called Purgatory, which has many believe that this is just straight up the rapture of what the story is all about, which maybe I guess kind of makes sense. It's then just a matter of like, where were they in the rain location, followed by where did Norman Reedus end up at the very end of the trailer in a completely different location, which I guess can mean different planes of existence. I don't know. We don't know that much information.
Was it different? Because it almost looked like the same spot, because that one dude where he landed like crushed. There was like a huge crater that happened, I thought, like when Dr. Doom landed on the thing.
Dr. Doom landed on... Wait. As in like the guy who landed on the truck?
Yeah.
Who did the guy from the second trailer who I've now completely forgot, Mads Mikkelsen. He did the two hands over his mouth thing. We did the motion, which I want to say could be the same character. Who knows? Or the same type of creature.
He had the same flashy thing behind him too.
Yeah, which again makes me think he works for them. Who knows? But then there's the giant creatures, and it's like, nope, no idea what that is. But yeah, that who knows what we'll see. I could place a bet that maybe we could possibly see gameplay at E3, but I don't want to make that bet because
I'm shaking my head.
No. Well, so
it could
all the shots and so far, I would almost bet that they've all been done in game. Like, you know what I mean? There.
Yes, it is.
So, I mean, at least we know
In game or
in engine.
I know it's the same engine
It's
as
the Fox.
Horizon Zero
Oh,
Dawn.
it's not the Fox engine.
It's not the
Kojima's
Fox
engine.
engine because Konami owns it.
Kojima.
Nope, Konami owns it, so no one's ever going to see it the light of day except Metal Gear
Yeah, it's not
Survive.
Fox
Ugh.
engine.
But it's the same engine as Horizon Zero Dawn. Guerrilla has been helping them with that game. And
Really,
making-
it's the same engine.
You know who
Holy shit, they're
also
burning
has
it.
been helping them with that game? The guys who did
What?
the Vanishing of Ethan Carter.
God damn it, Josh.
Well done.
Well done. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's in the engine, if not possibly in game. I unfortunately I don't really know yet, but I know the first trailer wasn't that engine. That was just a hey, we don't have an engine, but we wanted to show like what we were trying to
Oh,
do.
really? Okay.
Yeah, it was the second trailer that was in that engine because I know Kojima and them were showing off pictures on Twitter of like the tank from the second game in their office space to show it off and like what the lighting can do and all that stuff.
Was the second trailer with Guillermo, or is that the first one?
Yes. No, that's the
I'm
second
starting
one
to
because that's
think that I didn't see the first trailer.
That's the one where Norman Reedus is naked and he tries to grab a baby. He finds a baby and then it disappears and then he looks
Oh, he
out in
starts,
front
like,
and he sees
crying?
the five flying. Yes,
Oh,
and he sees
okay.
the
Yeah.
5 flying dudes that you see in the third trailer, which they were not in the second trailer.
Got it.
But who knows
I wonder
what
if
those
it's
are?
like the
but,
longest like escort mission ever, and it's just escorting the baby around.
escorting the
We-
baby, except the baby doesn't have to hide in a
You
trash
can
can.
keep it on your chest. I like how like expressive the
No,
baby is. The
actually,
baby like
no.
looks like ridiculous, in the sense that it's just like, whoa, what's going on, guys? And you're like, this baby is really animated and it's in my throat, which is it all makes
Hmm.
sense.
Yep.
Man. You know Resident Evil 4 is a good game because it's almost entirely an escort mission.
And you
it's
don't
still
even know
good.
it's an escort.
And it's
mission.
still
Actually,
good.
get in this garbage
Yes.
so good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Go.
This is the trash.
Stay.
This is your new home now. This is
This
where
is
you
your home
belong. I heard a rumor that you
Escort
want to live in a
mission with
dumpster.
stroller. Yes, that does.
Yeah, I would love it. It's
Uh,
like you're running from.
with Norman Reedus pushing. A
Oh yeah, from the
stroller.
giant dudes, and like it's raining, and your thing's flapping. The baby's just in the stroller with like a bonnet on, or what is it? And then it's just
Yeah.
you have to go to Toys R Us because it's getting antsy.
Oh man. That. Well, there's our.
Yeah,
game
that's
idea.
our. We'll get on. It'll be Parent Simulator, which will be just the same like
Parent
vacation simulator. Actually, honestly, I think the best Parent Simulator game is Octodad. I think that really encompasses what
It
it's
is-
like to be
yeah.
a real father.
I agree with that.
Octodad.
But
Mm.
I think I Am Bread is the best parent.
I Am Bread is
Oh
pretty.
God.
You ran out of
Let's
formula.
not talk about that game.
You have to reload the baby with formula.
That's great. With one of those obnoxious QuickTime event reload.
Oh, you have to
things
shake
like you
it. Yeah,
had
you have to
in,
shake the bottle, and then
in-
that's pretty
yeah.
great.
What was that? Damn it! No, I can't remember. What was the game with the shadows and the flashlight was like your weapon, and you had to
Alan Wake?
Do Alan Wake, yeah.
That was it. Yeah.
You raise the
Your baby is running low.
I wonder if don't shake the baby. I wonder if there's like a changing.
Don't.
There's like a
shake the
changing mini
baby.
game. It's like the baby
Yeah.
did stuff in its diaper.
Oh, man.
No. Yeah. So basically, there's only one game that we're all kind of excited about. One, which is GTFO. One game that we're pretty certain it's going to be good, which is Metro. Cautiously optimistic about.
And Bayonetta 3.
Oh, yeah. Bayonetta 3 is pretty. sweet.
Bayonetta, yeah, of course.
And then we will hear nonstop speculations about Death Stranding
Death
until
Stranding and what the hell that is
until
until we actually
the
see
game
gameplay.
until the game comes out.
If we see gameplay, for all we know, this is still a movie.
That's what
That's,
I'm.
okay, Caleb has to
Yep.
say, I think it's a Netflix series.
It's just a movie. It's a Netflix series.
Yep.
Prepared to binge watch.
All right, I think it's.
All right. I think
yeah,
that's it.
Yep.
Yep.
Guys, thanks for watching. We had like 5 people the whole time, which was awesome. This doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a lot.
Thanks, 5
It's,
people.
Yeah, well, thanks for hanging out. This is fun. This is the first time we've tried to do a live podcast, and our goal is to do this at the same time every week. And we're doing it on YouTube just so it sticks up here. You can check it out later. It'll just stay with the channel this way. But we like this format where we can kind of interact with you guys, talk about what's going on, maybe change the topics of what we thought we were going to talk about to maybe things that are more interesting to you at the moment. If we don't have a set thing to cover, like we did with the awards show video game. I don't even remember what it's called now.
The video game
yeah.
awards. Is that just no? The game awards. Just game awards. Game awards.
I think
it was just like
the Game
it was,
Awards.
It was
That's
the
all
Game Awards because the VGAs are something else.
TGA.
It's TGA, not VGA.
Yeah.
God, this is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
It used to be VGA, but now
Well,
Jeff Keighley did his own thing. That's why he calls it the Game Awards.
So great question, Stuart. How do we get notifications? The way to get notifications is if you're subscribed to the channel, there's a little bell icon next to the subscribe button. And if you make it look like the bell's ringing, then you'll get notifications whenever we post a video or go live.
We'll also set this as an event, so there will actually be a timer and a countdown. So you can actually, I think, pre-subscribe
Join
to
it
right.
before,
So
yeah.
We'll actually do that. So also another thing with us doing this every week, so it'll be weekly. Is that weekly every
yes.
month, half the year? Is that we will always try and shoot for something to be up, and I think if we don't have a lot to talk about, we'll just end it shorter and try not to ramble. But there may be 2 of us. Hopefully, we can get all 4 more often than not. But the goal is consistency, and that is always the goal.
Yep.
Or when in doubt, have one every bi-millennial. You know.
Oh yeah,
just at least that long. And
well, that's actually
we're making this promise 2 weeks before Christmas,
right?
And Christmas is on Monday,
so we probably won't be doing. I mean, if you guys want to, I'm okay with that. But if you want to do like what we got for Christmas, that sounds awful. Let's think of a better topic. Yeah. So if that's another perk about doing this straight to YouTube is that people can see it right after we're finished and then decide whether or not they like it, and they can chime in after that as well. So if you have any tips on what we should do or how to make it better, let us know. Or how we can keep Wolfie throughout the entire chat, let us know. And
yeah, we lost Wolfie at some point.
I thought we lost him like 4 times.
We did.
But
he was teasing us for a while.
Or he wasn't here at all, ever.
But we lost a Wolfie.
We did.
So
I agree.
A net positive. All right, let's end it now quickly before we get out of
Bye,
hand.
everyone.
Goodbye. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.